In our today's session, we will go slightly deeper into technical aspects to understand what all are important factors in machine learning to be considered while developing a project. So in this lesson today, we will talk about what is machine learning. We'll talk about concepts of regression, classification, and clustering. And we will also explore Microsoft Azure service on machine learning, where we will see an automated machine learning service and machine learning designer for us to explore and learn and build products on machine learning techniques. So when we talk about machine learning, that machine learning is one of the important foundation for most artificial intelligent solutions, which also enables the creation of models that predict unknown values and infer insights from the observed data. So how do you think machines learn? Machine, as somebody rightly said, machines by default learn from the data. In today's world, we create day lives, from the text messages to emails to social media posts. We send to the photographs, videos which are on the phone. We generate massive amount of LinkedIn posts, Instagram showcases, Twitter stories, Instagram stories. All this is data which is created and uploaded. And there are millions of sensors who are adopting and monitoring these. It could be sensors in our homes, sensors in cars, cities, public transports, and whatnot. Data scientists can use all of this data to train machine learning model, which can make predictions and inferences based on the relationship they find in the data. Now, in this slide, we will see an example. Suppose an environmental conservation organization wants volunteers to identify and catalog different species of wildflower using a phone app. The following information shows how machine learning can enable the scenario in the slide. These are the flowers. A team of botanists and data scientists collects the sample of wildflowers, which are named. The team labels the sample with the corrected species. The labeled data is then processed using an algorithm that finds relationship between the features of samples and the labeled species. The result of this algorithm is encapsulated and displayed and stored. Now, after this, when the new samples are identified or supplied, the models can identify correct sample as they did here, which means that if I go back, the kind of data which I inputted into the model has been recorded, which with the mental NLP or API segments is there in the system now, which machine uses to identify the new sample which comes in on which kind of flower it is and what is its name. So machine learning from the perspective of creating predictive models by finding relationships in the data, which is an important fact for everybody to understand. Is that clear? This is one of the most simplest definition of machine learning. Machine learning will take some input to get trained, and post training, it will be used to supply predictions and correct values within the system. I'm sorry, guys, I don't have look access, or probably I'm not looking at the chat while presenting. So if there is something extremely important which you want to ask, you can ask when I open it for Q&A instead of posting on the chat. Rest all is fine. Fine. I was just looking at the chat and I'll close it for now. You can keep discussing. I would request you all to hold on your questions. You can ask them as and when we get into the Q&A section. For now, we will majorly focus on what we are planning with our objective to learn today. Machine learning. The fundamental of machine learning is where we will get some data as an
Dr. Ahmed,
algorithms and models will work on defining the relationship.
Dr. Ahmed, can you hear me?
Yes, Baba, go ahead, please.
Your voice is still lagging.
Okay.
I think there's a problem with the connection. Maybe if you can disconnect and connect one more time.
Just give me a moment. I'll do that. Hold on, guys. I'm extremely sorry for the inconvenience. Let me check what is going on. Yeah.
No worries. Hi, everyone. I hope you guys are enjoying your session. We'll wait for Dr. Ahmed to come back. Meanwhile, Hannah will share our social media platforms. Please tag us. Let us know what's your feedback. Email us at learn@ai.gov.ae. We would love to hear about your experience through the summer camp. And again, with the certificates. Yes, you will receive your certificates by the end of the month per session. So if you're attending today's session, it means you need to complete the full course, which is taking place until next week. If you attend the whole week, then you will receive the certificate for this course. And then every session you join, you will get a certificate for that session. But all these certificates, you will receive them by the end of the month. Yes, except the Leywagon session. If you join that, they send out their own certificate. So that is what is the point of the certificates. Okay, if you missed the first class, will you still? Yes, if you continue joining and you don't miss a lot of the information, you will get it, yes. The point of the certificate is for your own CVs, that you can show people you've attended such courses, you do have the knowledge, you do understand the main concepts, the main topics. That is if you'd like to use them one day. Hannah has shared our social media platforms. We would love to see you guys follow us and tag us. You can also watch all these sessions, anything that you've missed on our YouTube channel. It's a new channel, but we do have most of our sessions there recorded. How can you register? You mean for the new courses? You can register through our website, ai.gov.ae, and then click on learn, and then you click on the summer camp, and you can register for the sessions that you are interested in. Yes, skill is more important than certificates. I agree. However, some people enjoy or would like to beef up their CVs so that they can show that they actually know what they're talking about. All the recorded sessions are on YouTube, so you can access them there. Each session you have to register. If you're registered, you will probably receive links to all these sessions, but some sessions were limited with seats, especially the physical ones, and for those you will need to inform us that you are in physical session. Okay.
Is it okay now, Marwa?
Yes, much better. Welcome back, Dr. Amit. I'm sorry I took over a little bit while you were away.
No problem. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, guys. So we were talking about machine learning models. The understanding of machine learning, or the concept of machine learning, is basically to take input, identify a relationship within that input, and use that understood, learned information to predict what's coming in future. And that's where machine learning comes into the picture. Importance of creating predictive models by identifying relationships in the data which is inputted is important part of machine learning as practice. Now, when we talk about machine learning as a concept, we cannot miss a concept called regression, because regression is one of the primary form of machine learning, which is used to predict numeric label based on an item features. For example, here we have AdventureWorks Cycle, which is a business which rents the cycles in a particular city. Now, business could use historic data to train model that predicts daily rental demand in order to make sure sufficient staff and cycles are available. Now, to do this, AdventureWorks could create a machine learning model that takes information about a specific day, which could be day of the week, where it is expected to understand and analyze weather conditions and so on as an input, and produces the predicted number of rentals as an output. Mathematically, if you talk about regression, if you all are probably have passed your 12th grade, you will understand the importance of integration, concepts of mathematics in terms of features. So mathematically, we can think of machine learning is an important way of defining function which operates with multiple features, multiple efficiencies, which is y of fx of every model which is identified. And this further classifies the validated data, because regression is an example of supervised machine learning technique in which we train a model using data that includes both features, which are known as values for the label, and the models which fit the feature combinations to the label. And then after the training has been completed, we can use the trained model to predict the labels for new items for which the label was unknown. Now, in this example, as you can see, the mathematical formula of regression, when we come to the bicycle rental example, the details about given day or day of the week or weather and so on are the features, and the number of rentals for the day is y, which is label, and function f, which calculates number of rental based on the information, is a day. So the specific operation that function performs on x to calculate y depends on number of factors, including type and different segments. So this basically creates a regression model for all of us to understand machine learning algorithm in terms of regression, which creates a learning pattern, understanding within the industry segment to create importance of regression as a component, where we create relationships, intersect, and use those related data to predict certain information. And that is beauty of machine learning when it comes to using regression as a model. Is that clear?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Going forward, second type of machine learning is classification, which is used to predict which category or class an item belongs to. For example, a health clinic might use the characteristics of the patient, such as age, weight, blood pressure, and so on, to predict whether the patient is at risk of diabetes. In this case, the characteristics of the patient are nothing but features, and label is the classification of either 0 or 1, representing diabetic or non-diabetic with all the factors. Like regression, classification is also an example of supervised machine learning technique, in which you train a model using data that includes both features and known values for the label, so that the model learns to fit the feature combinations to the label. And then after the training has been completed, you can use the trained model as and when you require to predict the new labels. And that's what is represented in the presentation. So you see, we have a data for validation and we have a training data. So in this format of 0, 1, we take the data points, give it to the machine, and this machine further creates and applies the logic to the validation data, post-training data, which gives you correct validation. Which are nothing but important permutation and combination factors which needs to be considered while using classification or applying classification algorithm. The third important part of this is clustering. Now, clustering is a form of machine learning which is used to group similar items into clusters based on their features. For example, a botanist might make measurements of plants and group them based on similarities in their proportions. Clustering is an example of unsupervised machine learning, in which you train a model to separate items into clusters purely based on the characteristics or features. There is no previously known cluster data. So guys, if you see this example here, when it comes to clustering, we have plotted values. We are not training any model, we are inputting it. And based on the features, we further drop down and put them into groups. And this will create different groups of items with similar features. So important point for all of us to understand here is we spoke about machine learning, two important types of machine learning, which is supervised learning and unsupervised learning. And within supervised learning, we spoke about two important factors, regression and classification, where as it is supervised learning, we need a training data which has to be inputted, and based on the input, the output is defined. And second type is unsupervised learning, wherein within unsupervised learning, without having training data, we create clusters based on the feature of the items, which could be appearance, which could be order, which could be color, any format with the help of which we would like to cluster, which could be geographies, where we don't have to provide a training data to the machine, but machine categorizes based on the features which are given to this particular algorithm. Is that clear, guys? Any questions? If you have any questions, please raise your hand. I can see Hussain. Hussain, go ahead, unmute yourself and speak.
Hi, Doctor. Question is with regards to the clustering. What examples in real life do we have for clustering? You mentioned that currently there's no set data.
So clustering is a type which works with the features. So it in the manufacturing industry, real time, you can cluster or filter the products with the feature of a particular product which you are getting built. In the geographical industry, clustering is a mechanism which will group deserts, oceans, or forests and species in that particular forest. So we need to define the different features with the help of which clustering will take place in real time, depending on whatever domain you work on. So performing assets, non-performing assets, liabilities, finances, anything can be a feature of a product on which you would want to apply machine learning.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
I can see Muhammad Ali. Please go ahead, unmute and speak up.
Hello, sir. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Mohammed.
So my question is that I know that in clustering we are using unsupervised learning in order to label the unlabeled data set. But in the end, is there any way to verify whether the labels are correct or not without the help of a domain expert?
Without the help of domain expert, of course, not possible. But with the help of domain expert, you can create the QA, which will verify whether the created clusters are correct or not.
Thank you so much, sir. Actually, I was working on a project and there we needed a domain expert. Like I was trying to make the clients understand that we need a domain expert. It was a medical project. So we need a doctor who can confirm whether the cancer clusters are right or wrong. And the client was not able to understand this fact that AI is not everything. Like there's a need of humans as well.
Yeah, so Mohammed, in your example, as I said, you will need a domain expert. However, you can use that domain expert once to create a bot or a
Yeah, of
QA,
course.
but once you will certainly require, if not every time.
Yeah, at least once we require a domain expert to make actual true labels, so that later
That's
on
true.
we can. Yeah, indeed. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. That was a good question, Mohammed. Yes, Akhil, go ahead. Akhil, you can unmute and speak up.
Yes, my question is about the training and the model. When we give training data to train, the model, what is the model? The model is a formula that is generated by the machine algorithm. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not,
model is nothing but an algorithm, a program.
okay, it's an algorithm. Okay, so what if on regression, when we talk about regression, what if we don't have a linear kind of data? Can we still use the regression for that? Oh no.
See, you
Or it
can,
doesn't apply?
if you don't have linear data, I would always recommend classification. We have seen the fundamental types, regression, classification, clusters. In regression, there are further different types of programs, algorithms, which can be used. However, in terms of linear, if you don't have linear data, you can use bipolar regression or classification.
Okay. And for what I understand, supervised is when we give training, correct? And non-supervised, we don't have training. So how
Right.
does it classify? How does the machine classify this without any kind of training?
So they classify with the help of features. We filter it based on the features. Like let's say a red color car. So algorithm identifies first red color and create a one cluster. And in that cluster, next level of filter is car, which fulfills our requirement. So it is feature which you specify and not it acts as a filter.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe if you have some examples, we can understand better. If we do some exercise about it.
In the interest of time, I don't think that would be possible. But then, no worries. I'll give you some resources which you can refer, and you can practice yourself. And if you have any doubts, you can write me an email.
Okay. Thank you.
So next chapter, we will move and see few important services which are required for us to know different services available with Azure cloud. A cloud-based platform for machine learning on Azure is Azure Machine Learning Service. As we saw yesterday on the portal, there was machine learning service as an option for you to consume on Azure portal. Now, this machine learning service is a cloud-based platform for creating and managing as well as publishing the different models of machine learning which you develop. Azure Machine Learning provides multiple features with your Azure subscription, which starts with workspace on Azure with compute, data, experiments, models, and services. And this is what I was trying to explain yesterday when we were speaking about cloud services. Cloud is not just a service or just a platform. It is your virtual data center where you can have compute services, you have databases, storage mechanics, and all related hardware and software virtually available for you to work. Now, with this capability of Azure machine learning, of having all these services on one particular platform, we need to understand important factors and important services. There are top 4 features which can be considered while working with Azure Machine Learning Workspace. First feature is automated machine learning, which is nothing but a manageable service or a managed service, because this enables non-experts to quickly create an effective machine learning model from the data. You don't need to be a machine learning expert. Azure has capabilities for you to get it created based on input information. Second important feature is Azure Machine Learning Designer, which is a graphical interface enabling no-code development of machine learning solutions. Data and compute management, which is nothing but cloud-based data storage and compute resources that professional data scientists can use to run data, experiment code at scale, and work accordingly. And the last one is nothing but pipelines. Now, pipeline is a concept of creating a workflow for data scientists and software engineers. And of course, IT operations, which can create a pipeline to orchestrate model training, deployment, and management tasks. All this are available in your Azure Machine Learning workspace. Next important concept which we should learn is the automated machine learning service or feature, which I just spoke about. Let us delve deep into it. Automated machine learning in Azure Machine Learning provides the easiest way to train machine learning models for regression or classification, or for forecasting, which is really and a subset of regression with time series elements. And there are visual interfaces where we used supervised learning to supply the correct data and create a desired model type and learn machine learning at best. Then Azure Machine Learning Designer, which is an important tool for all of us to understand and create from the perspective of what is the training pipeline, what would you want to evaluate, and how do you create inference pipeline to predict labels of new data and deploy different pipeline as a service for apps to be used. This is one of the important tool for you to consider when it comes to machine learning designer, because this will help us to create multiple step for workflows to prepare the correct data, train the models, and perform the respective actions. This will give us an important factor of how and what needs to be worked out into the machine learning space where Azure is considered. So we all need to identify and create different patterns for machine learning instances. Any questions? Wow, I can see a lot of chat. I don't know if they are relevant. If there is something important, guys, please raise your hand and I can answer. Okay, Ahmed, go ahead and speak.
Okay, I want to ask, what are the other alternative options for cloud services? I mean, do I have to use cloud service to teach the machine or not?
It is not mandatory. Other options are Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, Alibaba Cloud, which are the 4 major leading cloud service providers. Mm-hmm. When it comes to machine learning, it is not mandatory that you use cloud services if you have relevant infrastructure and data center to process that particular data. However, 95% of the project these days on machine learning data and AI are running on cloud.
Thank you.
Achha, before we get on to the next question, I want to reiterate and confirm that your learning material, the skill pipe passcode, is emailed to all of you yesterday. I could see 50% of people have redeemed that code and got the book. However, there is still 50% of people who have not redeemed it. So request you to redeem them as early as possible. Otherwise, You will lose it if you don't redeem it.
Doctor,
Yes.
are there open source alternatives to the softwares that we use on machine learning, just to recognize objects? And are there open source
Yes, there are. You
alternatives
can
to
write
this?
Python. You can use Python libraries.
Or to recognize an image or a person, to classify image, for example, is there libraries for this?
When it comes to images, there are predefined libraries. We'll come to images when we learn the vision API, computer vision APIs in machine learning in this course.
Okay, we'll wait.
Yeah, image classification and vision will be covered at that point in time. Okay. Azure passcode. Yes, Azure passcode doesn't comes within the current course for AI camp. There is $200 credit for new users who have registered new. As you are already used, it will ask for passcode or your activation account. If you need Azure passcode or Azure pass, there is a longer 40 hours course which will give you 180-day access and Azure passcode to work on, beyond the scope of current course, and which is also not needed for the current course, because this is introduction to experiential AI and different platforms, different concepts of AI. If you do need to do hands-on, you need to get lab access. Hands-on is not within the scope of this curriculum. It's a step ahead. If you want, if you are interested to do that practice, you can reach out to our team and we can connect you to respective stakeholder and schedule one hands-on activity which will give you an exposure with Azure Pass. That's good to know, Mahmood, that you made an Azure account. Okay, Umair is asking a good question. How flexible is Azure Designer? Can the code running behind the model, for example, be tweaked, or can we use our own models? Yes, Umair, you can use the created code if you have that scaling capabilities, customizing capabilities. Okay.
Dr. Ahmed, can I
Daniel?
ask a question, please?
Yes, go ahead.
I want to ask you, are we going to have any other sessions during this camp about the use of AI and art and gaming, I mean? It's
In
a bit off
gaming?
topic. I'm just curious. That's all. Yeah.
Marwa, if you can answer this, I am not sure if we have anything scheduled for gaming as such, which is available on the website.
We don't have, during this camp, we don't have another session about games. We've had the App Store overview and we've had the Game Tech by Data Tech Labs. But you can check out the website. We have other topics that might be interesting for you guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
If you need a detailed course on gaming, Daniel, you can write and we can then connect of the curriculum to understand what kind of gaming course are you interested in.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Hussein, go ahead.
Yes, with regards to clustering, just thinking about it, it does open issues with regards to the bias under responsible AI. I just want to know if there's any information or any kind of, or have we reached the level where we should be taking that into consideration now?
No, I didn't get your question. Can you repeat that once again, please?
Yeah, sorry. With regards to clustering,
Okay.
there, you can tell that there may be issues with regards to bias under responsible AI.
Yeah.
So there may be issues with fairness. Is there any data or have we reached the level where we've started taking that into consideration with clustering and machine learning?
Yes, it depends on different domains, different business where you are applying it. For now, every industry has a responsible AI in place, which is verifying the results of clustering with the automated bots. However, it also depends on which domain or which kind of applications you're working, which will help you to explore more with the clustering in different verticals. You click on this service and you have all the information about machine learning. And here you can create your machine learning models with the inputs, networking components, endpoint security, tags, and creation mechanism. We should have a valid activated subscription, which will help you to create and define the machine learning model and the server where it will get executed. This is the set of instructions for you to practice in your subscription. I'm sharing this URL. This example, this exercise will help you to use a script and create a machine learning model in supervised learning space. You all can try this in your environment by following the URL. That's okay. It takes up to 24 hours for your account to get activated. I would once again like to reiterate, if you have not redeemed your code, please redeem it today before it gets expired. It is expired in 48 hours. People who have joined today and have not submitted their email IDs yesterday, please submit it on the Google form I just pasted. People who have not received the code, please enter your details once again and we will verify whether it has been sent or not. And we shall confirm you back over an email. If you have any questions, I am open for questions. Thank you very much for patiently listening to me. I want all of you to try the exercise which I just posted on the chat. I could see a few hands. Let's start with Ali. Oh, okay, hold on. I think I posted it in the wrong audience. I've just posted the Google form link for you guys who have not received the courseware and who have just joined today. And I'm posting the link for the exercise right now. I hope you all have received it now. Rehan, I am sorry, I'm not aware of any hackathon as of now.
I think I can answer that question. As part of the National Program for Coders, there will be several hackathons that will be hosted. Stay tuned. We will make more announcements in September, but stay following our accounts to learn more about these upcoming events. So there are lots of different things that you will be doing, including if you guys are registered in the camp, there will be a smaller one during the summer camp as well. Okay, great. Dr. Amit, would you like to take the other questions?
Yes.
Just to clarify for everyone, if you want to ask questions, there's a reactions button in the bottom. Click on it, and then you raise your hand. When your turn comes, you will be allowed to speak and ask your question. And then as soon as you do and you're done, please lower your hand just so that we can see everyone. The questions asked in the chat, we will try as much as possible to answer all of them, but sometimes they get lost in the chat and we miss out some important questions. So please, the priority will be for those who are asking questions by raising their hands using the reactions button. But of course, we're welcoming to all and any questions. Dr. Ahmed, please.
So let's start with Basam. So I think you lowered the hand. Ali. Ali Al-Zawi, please go ahead.
Good morning. Hi.
Good morning.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Ali.
Good morning.
I think you
hear
need,
me?
yeah, you're clear now.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I want to ask you if I have an AI project and for the machine learning, and I want help with it, like with coding and design. Could you please help me?
You write me an email, Ali, and we can take that off track. No problem.
Okay, thank you.
I hope you have my email address.
No, I don't.
I think we can share your email address in the chat, Dr. Ahmed, and
Yeah, I'm doing that.
yeah. If anyone else has a question, please use the reactions button to be able to be given the chance to ask the question. Yes.
Hello. I think my question is for Marwa.
Yeah.
I didn't understand still how is going to work the national program for coders. How can we register for it? And if we on this workshop we are already registered or not, I don't know nothing about this.
Okay, so you can click on the link in the website to learn more about the National Program for Coders. Being with us today does not mean that you are part of the National Program for Coders, because they are just a committee that helped us organize. However, more announcements on how you can join and how you can support with it will be announced in September. So always follow our Instagram page or all our social media pages and our website, and more announcements will be there about the National Program for Coders. Yes.
Okay.
Noor?
So for now, there is nothing we can do for now. Just wait.
In terms of, I think you are referring to the golden visa, because this is a completely different element. You can drop us an email and we will answer all the other questions, because today's session is with Dr. Ahmed, and I don't want other people to lose the chance to get to learn more from him. We will answer your questions by email.
Thank you. Thank you.
What?
Assalamu alaikum. I want to ask you a question about courses coming up ahead and internships. So the period that I'm interested in is around like late 2023, and I want to see if there are any courses that are being planned for that period of time, both by UAE AI Camp and the Data Tech Labs. I also want to intern in the upcoming summer, and I don't know where I can intern when it comes to regarding to AI and these kinds of topic. I'm a physics major and an AI minor.
Okay. If I understood your question correctly, you are looking for opportunities, for future opportunities regarding trainings and internships and scholarships. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So trainings are available throughout the year. We will make the announcement before the time comes. As for internships, I think it's better to stay tuned and follow our website because there are upcoming things that we will be announcing soon. I don't want to announce before the actual announcement, but if you follow us, you will learn more about the opportunities that are upcoming. However, you can also drop us an email and we will look into it.
Yeah. Additionally, if you need exclusive help in the learning and internships, yes, we do have an incubator where we train and provide internship to the research graduates.
Of the Data Tech Labs are in New York. I'm wondering if there is possible for an international internship or something of the like international training.
Both of them is possible, and we are in UAE also, though we are headquartered in New York, but we are present in UAE as well.
Yeah, because I'm interested in international studies to broaden my horizons. That's
Fine, no
why I'm
problem.
asking.
We can take it off track.
Okay. I sent you an email regarding the topic on your work email. Please reply to me if you find the email or you have the time.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, question for Dr. Amit. In your experience, in the field, what are the biggest issues or challenges you faced with regards to responsible AI?
Identifying correct data. So data pre-processing and identifying correct training data or correct inputs are the important challenges in the industry. Because you can create platforms, but if we provide a wrong input, we fail. I think Rehan is asking question, is it available for 13 years? What is it about, Rehan? If you can speak up, that would help.
There are no age limits for the National Program for Coders. Again, you can check out the website, stay tuned. More announcements are coming out in September. I cannot make an official announcement before the announcements go out. So please just follow us. And once again, there is no age limit. It doesn't matter how young or old you are. You can be part of the National Program for Coders. Today's session is with Dr. Amit. Today we discussed machine learning and it's quite an interesting topic. I think there's a lot to learn about machine learning. As much as we've achieved so far, there's much more to achieve. And all of you guys have the opportunity to become the future experts. And this is your chance to ask the right questions. So maybe Dr. Amit, what advice would you give for those who are willing to achieve more and who want to become the future machine learning specialists, if I may say.
Perfect. Thanks, Marwa, for the opportunity. Going forward in the next lecture tomorrow, we will see an important part from the machine learning perspective. First important practical example from the machine learning perspective, where we will explore about important facts on computer vision techniques. So what are the AI algorithms where we can apply computer vision? We'll see a short demonstration on computer vision also, which will give you an insight on how exactly it works. And then how computer vision can be worked with Azure PaaS and Azure components is something is the objective of our tomorrow's session. Stay tuned, don't miss it. Tomorrow we will focus on computer vision APIs and how to use them into the machine learning. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. If we don't have any more questions, I think we can sum up today's session. Yes, there is a question from Hind.
I have a question. If I receive emails about every lesson that we have, does this mean that I'm registered?
So if you are registered, if you did mention that by email in our website, so in your registration form, if you attended but you did not register, just send us an email saying that I did attend this session. We can cross-check it as well. So if you did not attend, we will cross-reference that. But just notify us which sessions you attended if you did not mention it during your registration. So I understand you do receive some emails with links to sessions that you did not register to, and you will, especially those that are popped up that were not there from the beginning. But just drop us an email stating that, just to confirm. We do cross-check who attended and who didn't attend.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Ahmed shared the Google Forms. It is for this session specifically. However, there is another session with Dr. Ahmed that will be held physically, and we would love to see all of you. If you did enjoy and if you have more questions for him and if you want to know more about him, he will be there with us in Emirates Towers the last week of the month. You can check the website for more details. We would love to see you guys, and we'd love to answer your questions and get to know you even more. Will they be creating machine learning models, Dr. Ahmed? I think that's a question.
Yes, we will be creating few models and I'll be demonstrating them. However, as you can see, there are more than 200 participants. It would not be feasible for giving access to all of you to work practically on it. However, I'll share the links where you can go through self-practice. And if you have any questions, you can get back to me. Today, I have shared a link to train a model which has some Python program, some scripts, and some machine learning concepts. I would request you in your spare time today, go through that link, follow step-by-step process, try to understand the code. And if you have any queries, questions, you can ask that me tomorrow. Similarly, going forward, we'll create few face, image recognition, and computer APIs to work with. Thank you.
And maybe it would be a good idea, since tomorrow's discussion will be about computer vision, for you guys to do some research and maybe test Dr. Ahmed's knowledge and see what interesting questions that will come up during tomorrow's session. I'm looking forward for that.
Sure. Thank you.
Dr. Ahmed, there's one question. I don't know if you'd like to take it before we sum up today's session.
Yeah, go ahead. What's the question?
Okay, thank you for this session and for Dr. Ahmed. I have a question. If I learn in YouTube Python in English, can I have information for for UAE camp or not?
I didn't understand, Marwa. Sorry, Gaet, can you repeat that?
Okay. Sorry, if I learn in YouTube language Python, can I more understand these courses or not?
Yes, you can.
Okay. And sure, it's in English or can I in Arabic?
Globally, it's recommended to be in English.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And okay, just thank you.
No problem.